Hello, my dear. Welcome back to our channel where we share the best short stories. Today we will read a classic Aesop fable, the Heron. So let's dive right in. Once upon a time, there was a heron who was walking sedately along the bank of a stream. His eyes were on the clear water, and his long neck and pointed bill were ready to snap up a likely morsel for his breakfast. The clear water swarmed with fish, but Master Heron was hard to please that morning. "No small fry for me," he said. "Such scanty fare is not fit for a heron." Just then, a finny young perch swam near. "No, indeed," said the heron. "I wouldn't even trouble to open my beak for anything like that." The fish went on their way, and the heron stood a long while watching them, still in quest of something better. The sun rose higher and higher, and after a while the fish began to leave the shallow water near the shore and swam below into the cool depths toward the middle of the stream. The heron could not reach them now, and after waiting a while, he was obliged to go further in search of food. As he walked sedately along the bank, he spied a little snail. And without a moment's hesitation, he stooped and swallowed it down. He had it not a whit in his head that the snail was a very simple meal, fit only for a hungry crow or a common sort of fowl. But he was hungry and would have been so very glad an hour before, and so he ate it up with great satisfaction and then walked away. My dear fellow kittles, what do you think? Is the heron proud? Yes, this is a story about a heron who was too good to eat small fish and ended up eating a snail instead. But why did it happen to him? Well, because he was too choosy. If he wasn't proud and satisfied with what he had, he could have enjoyed his breakfast. But he wanted something better, and so he didn't eat the fish. And when the sun rose, the fish went deeper into the water, and he couldn't catch them anymore. And eventually, he had to eat the snail, which was much smaller than the fish. You know, sometimes we are like that heron. We want a better job, a better house, a better car, or maybe just better friends. We think we deserve it. And if we don't get what we want, we start to complain. But we forget that maybe what we have is already good enough, and maybe we should be grateful for it instead of complaining and wanting more. And if we don't value what we have, we might end up losing it, and then we will be too late to regret it. But let's take a look at our little story once again. Let's start from the beginning. Once upon a time, there was a heron who was walking sedately along the bank of a stream. This is how the herons usually walk. They walk slowly and carefully along the shore, looking for food. The early morning is the best time to hunt for fish. And the heron knew that. That's why he got up early and went to the stream. He was hungry, but he was also very choosy. Not every fish would do for him. He wanted something special. The clear water swarmed with fish, but Master Heron was hard to please that morning. "No small fry for me," he said. "Such scanty fare is not fit for a heron. What does it mean?" He says that the fish is too small for him. He wants something bigger. But is it really so? Maybe the fish is quite all right, but the heron wants to be too good to eat it. And just at that moment, a finny young perch swam near. "No, indeed," said the heron. "I wouldn't even trouble to open my beak for anything like that." He doesn't even try to catch it. Why? 'Cause it's too small. Who decides what's too small and what's big enough? The heron, of course. He thinks he knows better than anyone else. That's why he complains that the fish is too small for him. The fish went on their way, and the heron stood a long while watching them, still in quest of something better. The sun rose higher and higher. Here we see that the heron is still looking for something bigger, something better. But you know what? There are plenty of fish in the river, and most of them are quite small. And the heron wants to eat none of them. He is too choosy. After a while, the fish began to leave the shallow water near the shore and swam below into the cool depths toward the middle of the stream. The heron saw no more fish, and very glad was he at last to breakfast on a tiny snail. Finally, he is happy because he can eat something. And what does he eat? A snail? Do you think it's a good breakfast? Well, the heron thinks it is. After all, he eats it with great satisfaction. And this shows us that actually the snail is a pretty good breakfast. The heron doesn't need a big fish to be full. A tiny snail is enough. But why does he eat the snail? Well, because he was too choosy before. He didn't want to eat any fish, no matter how big they were. And so he went hungry for a long time. When he is not choosy anymore and is ready to eat a small snail, he gets his breakfast. So what does the story teach us? It teaches us not to be too hard to suit, or we may have to be content with the worst or with nothing at all. We should be grateful for what we have and not be too choosy. Otherwise, we may end up with nothing. What would happen if the heron wasn't choosy? If he wasn't too good to eat the fish, he would have a nice breakfast. And he wouldn't go hungry and wouldn't have to eat a snail later. And maybe he wouldn't even complain that the fish is too small. After all, it's not the size that matters, but our attitude. We should appreciate what we have and be grateful for it. And if we do so, we will always have something to be thankful for. That's all for today, my dear fellow kiddles. If you liked this story, click the like button to tell us. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any new stories. And here is another story that you might also like. Click on it and enjoy.